Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Dale Parrish. I'm the State Director for Convention of States here in Indiana. Welcome to our broadcast tonight. Hope you all like that little intro, a little music. Hope that came through okay. It came through good on my end, so I hope you enjoyed that. Did you hear that all right, Ken?
Sounded fine, nice and relaxing while we waited for the introduction to the show. I liked it.
Yeah.
You're getting fancy up there, Dale. You're getting fancy.
We are really progressing here. I'll tell you, it's just very good. Well,
you know what they say, Dale. If you're not progressing, you're regressing. So.
Yeah, that's true. Believe me, folks, in this endeavor, it is a state of constant change. It seems to me, and if you don't, then yes, you're regressing. But it's fun. It's very fun. By the way, we're under a new concept this year, starting in 2022 with our broadcast, Monday evening broadcast, as well as our roundtable broadcast coming up on the fourth Monday, which will be next Monday, by the way. But we're trying to be very, very much more viewer oriented. And as you can see, we have a co-host now on. Mr. Ken Kashuba is now our co-host. And yep. I don't know, Ken, is this maybe the third or fourth broadcast you've been on now? Is this?
Dale, I know you forgot how to use calculators, but no, we're actually on number 12.
No, are you kidding me? It has been
number 12. I know it seems like just yesterday, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does. I don't know. I guess it was a good move.
Well, I won't be sending you any anniversary gifts or anything, so we'll just have to keep going along.
Okay. Well, Ken, like I said, Ken is our state communications coordinator, does a great job for us. So Ken is co-hosting now on COS Indiana. And Ken will be his main duty this evening. Well, he's got a couple main duties now that I think about it, because we're progressing all the time, aren't we? and as we progress, Ken has more to do.
More work, yeah.
Funny how that works.
It is kind of odd.
Yes. But doing a fantastic job. But one of the main things Ken will do is he will monitor any viewer comments and questions that we may have this evening. So if you are viewing either through Facebook or YouTube, feel free to make a comment or ask a question. We'll do our best to address that with you. So also want to mention here, might as well mention this right up front, that after the broadcast tonight, if you have any other question or anytime you have any question or comment that you want to make to us that you weren't able to get on the broadcast, feel free to send that in to our Gmail email account, raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. That's raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. And we'll do our best to respond to you as with what you're seeking and wanting to comment on. So our theme continues, and that theme is, what action can I take in Convention of States? And this is a theme that I had originally intended. I thought we would do this just for the month of January, but actually it has we've gone through February with this almost, and I think we're still going with it. I think this is a lot of people want to know. A lot of people want to do something, right? Am I saying that right?
I think so. It's the question people ask almost all the time. What can I do?
And and we think Convention of States is in fact a way for you to do something. And if you're one of those individuals, then pay close attention because you will have an opportunity to do something here in Convention of States if you choose to join us. And as a matter of fact, that's kind of our topic for tonight: Convention of States and activism. And we will be talking about that tonight. And we have with us tonight one of our great examples, a young lady that came into Convention of States and became a district captain, and does a fantastic job, and is also exhibiting a great deal of self-governance activism. So I think you're going to find Jill Jones is our guest tonight. I think you're going to find her very interesting as she tells you about her experience so far in Convention of States. So that's what we'll be doing for the first segment. And Ken, I think in the second segment, I think you are going to handle this. You want to tell us a little bit about this segment?
Well, let's raise your voice, and I'm not sure. I think we have that. It's actually going to be our third segment. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm sorry. Yes, it is.
We're going to do a contributors segment second.
Another change that we, one of these progressive changes that we made
last minute. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
We can still talk about raise your voice, and then we can go ahead and get started. But I'll go ahead and show the the QR code for tonight, so people can get that ready, and
yes.
we can allow people to get that into their phones so they can join in. Now that's the scan of the code there by your smartphone will get you plugged right into Slido.com. And if you're working off of a tablet or a computer, just go to Slido.com, enter 694774, and you'll get access to our Slido presentation tonight, or our polling section tonight. So scan the code and the barcode, and get ready, the Q code, and we'll kick that off here in the third segment after we get our contributor segment with I believe John Ackerman again tonight. So
right. That, and I meant to mention that we're going to take a little break right after the segment with Jill, and then we'll take a break by playing you a little video of John Ackerman's, another one of John's journal contributions.
Exactly.
So then we'll come back and do raise your voice.
I did want to wish everybody a happy President's Day too, by the way, Dale. So.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you. That's good. Yes. Well, the kids were out of school again today, weren't they?
It seems like they've been out of school a lot for other reasons, but
know,
President's Day, we could certainly hope that they brushed up on George Washington and all their other favorite presidents during this day.
You think they did?
Oh, I know the homeschoolers did for sure.
The homeschoolers maybe did. Yeah. Yes.
I don't know about those other online courses, but we'll see. We'll hope.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me throw this in, mention it one more time here. The roundtable's coming up next Monday, the 28th, always the fourth Monday of every month. So our roundtable meeting will be next Monday, same time, this very same time, same broadcast, same channel on Facebook and YouTube. So that'll be a roundtable next Monday, the 28th. All right. Well, as I said, we are still talking about, still using the theme, what action can I take in Convention of States? And we're honing in tonight on Convention of States and activism. So I would like to bring on our guest this evening, and let me see if I can get her up here and into that stream. And there she is, Miss Jill Jones. I'll give her name up there. Hello, Jill.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello, Jill.
Nice to see you.
Ooh, she said gentlemen. Did you are you including both of us in that, or?
I sure am. And you had some fine words for me too, Dale. You used the word great and young, and so thank you for that. We need to. I need to make a statement early on here that, and when I talked to you guys yesterday, I said, I'm just an average woman and I am blessed just to be one of the people. And so it's an honor to be with you guys tonight. Good to see you.
Oh, I tell you, she is so humble. She is so humble. I tell you. But, that's okay. Well, Jill, I told you one of the first things we always ask our guests, our Convention of States leadership guests, is to briefly tell us your COS story, your Convention of States story, the how, when, where you got involved in Convention of States, not your life story, just your Convention of States story. So, how'd you get involved?
Sure. So it seems like forever ago, but we have to just go back to 2021, January. And that does seem like a long time ago, probably for not just myself, but maybe you guys as well. But that's when I was introduced to Convention of States through Constitutional Live and Biblical Citizenship. And I was just taking those classes online. A friend had shared those with me, and I got very interested. And of course, we all know 2021 and what that was presenting to us across our nation and in our very own communities and what was taking place. And so at that time, I was just thankful for an opportunity. We were doing a lot of at-home things, a lot of us were at home. And so I just kind of started digging into some of the education that was available, and it was, really free resources. And from that, at the end of some of those courses, there was question and answer, and Mark Meckler was on there, and I was hearing about Convention of States. And so I started doing a little research and went out and tried to learn more about it in a fast amount of time, because at that point my frustrations were elevating and I knew I needed to take some kind of action, but I didn't know what. And so Convention of States provided really the not concept, but the overall theme of our Constitution. And I knew, having a public education, and it's been forever ago, that I was really ignorant to it. And I will admit that. I'll be the first to admit it. And so since 2021 to this day, I've been trying to do my best to be a good student and be a teacher along the way too. So I'm having a great time learning, and Convention of States has helped in that process. So
now, Jill, you went through the Patriot Academy training, am I right?
Yes, sir.
And you are a certified constitutional coach, Patriot
Yes,
Academy?
sir.
Yes.
So that's with Biblical Citizenship. And I'm pleased to say that I have conducted a Biblical Citizenship course, the 8-week course. I've done one and did it with a small group of patriots, grassroots people in my area. We sat in a lovely living room of some of my friends, and we went through that 8-week course. And so it was great. I highly recommend it. It's just, I feel, for all age groups too. So it's really going to be a good springboard to get people excited and to encourage them in their Constitution and what we can do to be engaged. So that is one way for certain with Patriot Academy.
Let me just mention this now. If anyone viewing would be interested in talking to you about doing the course, if they'll email us at raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com, we'll give that person your contact information, if that's okay. And so they can contact you. Is that all right?
That is perfectly great.
I know we didn't talk about this before, but just that just kind of struck on my mind. So, all right.
That would be great.
Okay.
You bet.
Well, Jill, I wanted you to get into how you're becoming a district captain in Convention of States, and it's not just being a district captain. It can be any leadership role in Convention of States, but how that can also then include being an activist. And I thought a good starting point would be, in fact, the vision statement for Convention of States, which in fact is to build a strong army of self-governing activists. So I thought that'd be a good starting point. So you want to take it away from there, please, then?
Well, I'll sure try. So, early on, self-governance was the term that I was hearing from some of the COS volunteers who I was able to meet early on. I want to mention, George was one of them, Thomas, Dale, you were one, Vicky was another. And so I was just hearing this word self-governance, and honestly, I hadn't probably heard it very much, and maybe not ever until 2021. And again, my ignorance is going to be shown at that point. But, hey, there's no better time to start learning than, in your midlife. So, being a lifelong learner, it's important, and it doesn't matter your age. I think it's important that we're continuing to learn. So, as I look at self-governance and over the year, what it's probably meant to me, I had to look up some definitions just to get a handle on it for myself, just common everyday words that the common man or woman could pick up. And some of them are freedom, independence, liberty. And so those probably ring a bell with all of us. And, I like the word freedom. And so at that, understanding of what governance means, to me, it means freedom. And so with that understanding, what does that look like? And then as we go into our day-to-day lives and try to engage and try to reach into our communities, learn more about our elected officials and what is taking place in government, that theme really rises up, freedom. And I think we can all say that we've seen what has happened to our freedom. So that's first and foremost when I think of self-governance and how we can secure our freedom, and really looking at our history of what that means. So self-governance is really securing freedom for us as the people. And so I've tried to just wrap my head around that and do the best that I can in learning and how to appropriate that, I guess, the best way in day-to-day life too. So, and I know, Dale, you mentioned about, being an activist. I probably would not use that term for myself personally. I don't have a problem with the word because it's a real word. But when I look up activism, and activist correlates with that word, I like to get down to common level, third grade understanding, honestly. Fifth grade, are you smarter than a fifth grader kind of thing? And so I wanted to look up, what activism means. And it means a doctrine or practice that emphasizes direct, vigorous action, especially in support of or opposition to one side of a controversial issue. And within that is the word action. And I like the adjective, or it's probably not an adjective because action is a verb, but that word vigorous, though, I want to hone in on vigorous, because that brings a lot more emphasis to action. And some of us are going to take that to a different level.
Yeah, that doesn't mean violence. It doesn't mean.
No.
I think a lot of people when they think of the word activist, that's one of the things that comes to mind. I think is violence, but that we certainly do not promote anything like that. So just thought I would throw that out and make sure everybody understands that particular point.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, action too, when we look at the word action, and vigorous just means that there's maybe some emphasis into it. And depending who you are, we're all different. We all have different skill levels and abilities. And so we're going to take that maybe at a different angle. But action is, the accomplishment of a thing, usually over a period of time. It's in stages or with the possibility of repetition. And it's an act of will. So an emergency requiring action. So, back in 2021, I really took it personally that our country was in a state of an emergency. I mean, we heard that word and those terms all the time for so long we have, but honestly, it was our nation was in a state of an emergency. And so with that, we need to take action. We need to engage and find out where we fit into this self-governance. And so it is an act of will for us. We have free will. We can choose to engage and get active and take action, or we can choose not to. And so I think a lot of people want to take action. I feel that what I'm hearing and seeing sometimes is they don't know what to do. And maybe they've been doing something over a period of time, which is what action is, but they've not been successful, or they've not found victory, or a change that's taken place. And so just with the pandemic and over the past couple years, I felt like I was on a hamster wheel with some of the grassroots people in my county, maybe outlying counties. And so with that, it's like, let's get off this hamster wheel. Let's find something that's not working. Let's do something different. And let's find something that is going to engage the people, learn, and go from there and take it into governmental areas of our elected servants, and what we're to do in that way. Not only we are educating ourselves on our own constitutions, but we need to instruct our elected officials as well. And so that's what I've been trying to do, because if I'm not educated, then chances are some of our elected officials are not educated as well. So I want to go at that with grace, because I'm learning, and I think a lot of us are learning. But it really rests, I think, this freedom. It's up to us as the people, men and women, just average, everyday, ordinary men and women. At this point, that's what activism is. I think is engaging this grassroots self-governing army. And we have a great one here in Indiana, and Convention of States has helped to form that. And now we just need to help folks, I guess, jump off the couch. And I'll talk about jump off the couch a little later, but that's kind of, hopefully that helps, Dale, just bring us where you would have us to be for tonight, and understanding of really what I've gained. And I've appreciated just the resources, the education that Convention of States has provided. And I think a lot of us can gain the knowledge, gain the education, but it's how we're going to utilize it. We can't just sit with it and keep it for ourselves. We need to go out and execute and teach it to others, especially our young people, because I'm a public school product after all these years. But I know that our children, our young people, are not getting the education that I would hope that they would be getting at this point. So I'm seeing it, and I think a lot of people are seeing it too. So we need to do our best outside of the school and outside of the classroom to help in that effort. Yeah. And that's where I've kind of been focused at the school board level. But not only that, all the way up to our state level too. So
I know you've spoken at some school board meetings, right?
Yes, sir.
And you've testified in front of the legislature, state legislature, right?
I did.
And what else have you done?
Well, I think, we talk about action, and learning our state's constitution. I think it's super important that we remember, and this would be something that just my ignorance a year ago, if someone asked me just like a quick question of, how many constitutions do we have? Of course I would have just been thinking one, but then I would have been, okay, is this a trick question? And then I would have thought, okay, we have our state constitution, but truly we have 51 constitutions. And
I know you told me that the other night, and that really stuck with me. That I've never read Ken, have you sat down and read the Indiana state constitution?
No, once Jill brought that up, as we talked a little bit about that, I have to admit my ignorance there. I have not read the Indiana state constitution, so I'm going to do it.
Yes. I think that's an excellent point. She just happens to have a copy of
Just
it
so
in front
happens
of
to
her.
I
have it
do,
ready.
yeah. So
She's a
these little
prepared woman.
these little pocket constitutions, which are great. Um, this is these are provided by Liberty Defense PAC, and they have these available. And I've been kind of trying to have these just handy and available. I'm really hoping actually that we talked to our commissioner here a few weeks back, and we asked him if this would be something that he felt that would be in a budget. I think it would be, but to be able to provide to our school children, probably at the high school level, and to get these in the hands of our young people in our schools. And so I'm hopeful that something will come about from that. We need to follow up with him. And of course, you all know these pocket principal, are for this is Patriot Academies, but I know Hillsdale has those as well. So,
Right.
yeah, so it's taking, this Indiana Constitution, and from it, just realizing the power that's in our state constitutions. And I think it's important that we learn them, because this is our remedy to take into governmental institutions to realize where the power lies is with the people. And I think it's just fitting that our founders, started with a preamble. And Dale, I don't know if we'll have time, and I don't need to read any of it now, but one of the preamble and the Bill of Rights, some of the constitutions are going to be the Declaration of Rights, but the Article 1, Section 1, the main theme at the very beginning is going to be we the people, and it's
Right.
going to reference the people, and that is us. That's you, Dale. That's Ken. That's our grassroots army, is the people. And if anything I've learned over these past couple of years, it's going to be up to us. We need to step out. I think of that army. You have that strong army of self-governing activists or people. I'm just going to say the people, because some might not. Like I said, I don't want to use the word activist for myself. But if I may touch on, I actually asked my dad yesterday, because he's a veteran and he was in the army. And I said, Dad, what would be like three main things that would come to your mind when you think about an army, and what prepared you as an army, as a group, as a battalion, or a group of men and women? And three things he said, and I'll go through. One of the first things he said right away was getting fit, getting in shape. The second one was to stay unified. And the third one was to take action. And he touched on, of course, I had to say, okay, Dad, stop right there, because you gave me a point. Let me write it down. And then I kind of had to rein him in, because I said, this is really good, because I wanted to do a correlation to really service men and women. I'm very thankful for them, served our country for the freedoms that we have today. And I wanted to do that correlation for this strong army here in Indiana that we have. What does that look like? And so when you get fit as a soldier, obviously that's self-explanatory. That's what they have to do when they go in. They are getting fit. They are getting stronger to go into a battle. And I think as us, as self-governing people, we need to, it's about sticking our neck out there. And we're going to have to be out of our comfort zone at times. It's going to be uncomfortable. And sometimes it's going to be painful, because honestly, I don't like public speaking in front of people. But I have found myself in that role. I would rather be at the back of the room, just praying and cheering that person on, But so that's uncomfortable. Staying unified is important, and I think that that's what we see with our Indiana grassroots army, is staying unified. We're going to come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different religious beliefs, maybe no religious beliefs, different party lines. That's why I'm appreciative of a nonpartisan approach with Convention of States. And so, but I think the main thing is we're going to have more like-mindedness, and that's going to keep us united. And that's important. And as a soldier, and as someone going into battle and going through that boot camp, your marching orders. And like my dad said, it was always left, 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 right, left, and you stay in sync with your battalion or with your group, and you are working as a unit. That's super important. And then that last one, is that action part. And my dad said, some men and women, they became, great at sharpshooting. They became great at grenades. My dad, I think, actually was with where he loaded these big guns with artillery, and so he was very good at what he did. I thank God that God spared his life, brought him back home to our family. I wasn't even born yet, but he was in Vietnam, and so you know the self-governing army that we have in Indiana, we're going to have different skills and abilities. And I think that our group of people working together, we're going to be able to help one another know where our strengths and abilities are so we can get involved, that we can take that action. Doesn't matter our age. I want to see young people, voting age 18, even younger, obviously, just learning our constitutions. And for those that are at home that maybe can't do things that they wish they could, maybe they have some physical limitations, but we can all be doing something. And so, that part of the action part, we have to know. And so we need to know what we're going to take to that fight or into that battle. And honestly, personally, I believe we are in a fight. We're in a fight for our nation and for our freedom. It's not just at our local level. We know it in a grander scheme. And so for myself, I've learned that we have a remedy in our constitutions, and I want to be able to utilize it to its fullest. And I'm seeing victories with it being utilized too. And that's what I'm utilizing at the school board level, but all the way up to our state level as well. And it's that education piece, and it's that instructing piece. And so that's been super important for me, just educating myself on a process that is working it through from start to finish. It's going to take time. It's going to be kind of painful because I'm learning all over again, and it's going to require time and effort. It means I'm not going to be able to do some of the things I want to do, take a vacation, because things right now, we're in still of an emergency state, I believe. And so that's just me personally. That might not be for everybody, and I understand that. So
Well,
I
I'll use
hope
that
that.
as a segue, Jill, to just bring up a couple of comments.
Yeah, I was
Because there was a
wondering
couple of comments and a question for you I wanted to get in before we got too deep.
Sure.
One of our usual and faithful leaders, Susan Lyon, had a question, a comment. She said, "We are involved citizens, and everyone pulling together will accomplish great things." Those were a couple of comments that Susan had. And she also had a question. I know this might be a little bit off topic, but she wanted to know, she wanted me to ask you what handout is the most popular one at your COS booths. She said she'd like to donate.
Oh, bless you, Susan. Well, Susan, you're right too. I mean, we are active, and I'm thankful for the body of people in our state, and just all age groups, all backgrounds. It's been just a joy to get to know people. As far as the handouts at the booths, I've had a couple, and I can't call them booths, but I'm trying to just think really. I mean, Convention of States provides a lot of great literature. I personally, right now, I'm not doing any booth work for Convention of States. I certainly appreciate you talking about donating. At this point, I don't have anything for you in that arena, but I'm sure Dale can point you somewhere. So
I'm
yeah, I
thinking
don't have anything.
I'm thinking those pocket constitutions. I know we were at
Oh,
one point over the past
yeah,
year, it was hard to find those.
yes.
So that would probably be one that we could always use some.
Sure. So that's just something, Susan, if you felt, that these Indiana, and these are for our people that, at the booth, I think this would be a great thing to
Yeah,
have.
that would be great as well.
So,
Yes.
Yep.
and I can get the gentleman here tonight, and I can put it out on Slack. I'll share some of the information. The pricing kind of ranges depending how many you purchase, but they're $3 a piece. And then if you purchase up to 100 or something, they're $2 after you've purchased 100 or more. So yeah, and I have the contact person where we can get those, and those can probably be mailed to us. So thanks for asking about that, Susan.
Ken, any other comments or questions?
One from our upcoming contributor, John, just wanted to comment on the Indiana Constitution. He said he read it once a long time ago in a land far away.
Okay. All right.
So John is doing his authoring tonight. I think it's not like he's got the beginning of a book going, but or a novel, but that's okay. I will mention too, we did have a couple of hellos. Just I wanted to mention Connie Edgen is that of Knox County. She just wanted to say hello, everyone. So I wanted to let Connie know we've recognized her joining the broadcast tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for joining. All right. Well, we've gone way over, but that's okay. We kind of figured it would happen that way. But so Jill, you got anything else that you want to add to this to kind of wrap things up real quickly here?
Yeah, no, other than, I was thinking of this earlier today. We have a group at our church that's called Off the Couch. It's OTC, which is off the couch. So OTC. And so I would just encourage people to reach out to Dale, to Ken, to the contacts that have, early on that you've met with or talked to. And if you are struggling to get engaged or to find something to do in the way of volunteering, reach out to them. If you need encouragement, reach out. There's, men and women standing by. We want to help. We want folks to be encouraged, stay encouraged. And, we're walking this journey together. So yeah, OTC, Off the Couch, and they call it a club, and they actually go and they do some walking at our church and an activity.
I like that, Off the Couch.
I like that, Off the Couch.
Yeah. So I was just thinking that it's fun, but it's true. I mean, we, and there are some things certainly we can do on the couch. And again, just being sensitive to those that aren't physically able. You can do a lot on the couch. But for a lot of us, we need to get off the couch. And I say that with all kindness and love, but we need to get out there and we need to engage and get fit, stay unified and take action.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you for having me tonight, guys.
Great
segment. Thanks, Jill.
Great interview with you. Glad we had you tonight.
I appreciate
keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. That's right. All
right.
Thank
you, guys. Take care. God bless.
Thank you, Jill. Bye-bye. Oh, great. Well, Ken, we went way over. That's
well, okay. when you've got a good thing going, they like they said, don't stop. Just keep going.
I wasn't about to stop her.
No,
because she was just so good, and I knew she was going to be a good guest on tonight.
Sure. Brought a lot of good stuff.
We're probably. I might want to mention. We're going to delve into this even more in our roundtable discussion. I think this is going to be one of our main topics
I'd agree.
In the upcoming roundtable, and we'll be discussing it even more and more because there's a lot to talk about there. There's an awful lot to talk about.
Sure is.
Well, let's take a little break here and let's do a contributor segment here.
Okay.
We're going to bring on John Ackerman for another segment that he has done for us as John's Journal. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that on and start that up and try and get a full screen for everyone here.
All righty.
John Ackerman for Convention of States, Indiana. Yeah, I'm a retired seminary professor. Yeah, I'm an ordained minister. I was a pastor for 10 years before I moved back to Anderson to teach Christian education in the School of Theology. Yeah, I know the Bible, studied Hebrew and Greek, translated a few verses out of the Old Testament and the New Testament, and I know what Jesus said. I know some of what he said. I don't know everything he said, because nobody followed him around and wrote down every word. But there's a fascinating TV series that has just completed its second season. I'm not here to shill for that. You might want to check it out. It's called The Chosen, and you can find it on thechosen.tv, or you can go to your app store and download The Chosen and watch this program for free. But I'm not here to advertise for that program. I am here, however, to read a brief quotation from it. Early in the second season, they have a backstory. You know, this TV series is using, I think, holy imagination to fill in some of the backstories of Jesus and the apostles. These are things that are not written in the Bible, but they're entirely believable. It could have happened this way. Anyway, part of the backstory, when something really bad happened to somebody early in the second season, they have Jesus saying to this person, "In this world, bones will break, hearts will still break. But in the end, light will overcome darkness." And that is what I'm here to say. Yep, you're going to have trouble. Yep, bad things are going to happen. A few years back, my house caught on fire. We didn't lose everything, but everything had to be replaced because of smoke and water damage. It was a bad thing, but we got through it. I've had traffic accidents. I've had broken bones. I've had good friends die too young. Yeah, bad things happen. They happen to you. I know they do. Just because you're human and you live in this world, bad things happen. Bones still break. Hearts will break. They have and they will again. But in the end, light will overcome darkness. Maybe this deep theological belief of mine is what gives me hope for our great nation. It's looking pretty dark out there now. You got Antifa. You got what looks like a stolen election in 2020. Can't wait for these forensic audits to be revealed. You've got Marxist organizations like BLM, Black Lives Matter, Inc. Don't get me wrong. Black lives, white lives, red lives, yellow lives, all God's children. All lives matter. But I'm talking about the organization Black Lives Matter. Marxist. Wants to take down our republic. You got a lot of bad stuff happening. You got a lot of darkness. But I'm basically an optimistic person. And I believe that in the end, light will overcome darkness. The writers and producers of The Chosen figured that was a good thing to have Jesus say in one of the backstories, untold stories from the New Testament, and they just made that up, I know, but it's consistent with the Jesus that I read about in the Gospels. And it's consistent with a good, strong biblical theology. Bones will break, hearts will break, but in the end, light will overcome darkness.
Well, that was another good one from John.
Another good one from John. Yep. And we're all looking for that light. That's for sure. I wanted to just throw up a quick comment. Jerry Rowe, our friend Jerry Rowe, had mentioned that the Indiana Constitution is on the COS wiki page, and he also put that up here. You can copy and paste this HTTPS in the chat. So if you want to get a look at the Indiana Constitution, it is available there. So I wanted to just mention that before we move down.
Good. All right. Excellent. All right. Now, Ken, we wanted to mention this to everyone before we get into the Raise Your Voice segment here, right?
Right. Yeah. More progression, right? We are looking to progress a little further. As a matter of fact, tonight's polling will also include a little bit on this as well. But we are looking to, on our next, which is just a week away, the next roundtable, we are looking to include a brand new feature or ability. I'll call it a feature that we're going to bring about, and that is we are going to be able to provide an actual call-in, a viewer call-in. So along with the chat, along with interacting with us with our Slido polls, we're going to give you a chance to call in, get your voice, raise your voice a little more and get your voice heard. So prepare for that. We're looking to have people go ahead and be able to interact with our program on the roundtable next week on the 28th, 7 p.m. right here. So just wanted to mention, we will be bringing out a new feature, a call-in segment. So we're looking forward to that.
Right now, this is only going to be on the roundtable.
Just on the roundtable, yeah.
Which will be the fourth Monday of every month. So we wanted to just mention that tonight. Again, don't call in tonight. It'll be next Monday on the roundtable.
That's right.
All right. Good deal. All right. You want to get us going on?
Let's get us going. We're running a little late, so we'll just we'll let Marengo get us started on the last segment.
All righty.
That features you. Scan the code and join the fun. It's your turn to be heard.
Well, that's Marengo, and he's bringing on Raise Your Voice. It's time to be heard. So with that, we'll go ahead and bring up our QR code and our polling segment for the evening. And we'll get that started again. So if you got your phones ready, if you're already plugged in, you're ready to go. Otherwise, we'll give you a second here. And it looks like we have a anonymous question. So while people are getting their scan, the QR code scanned into their phone or logging in at slido.com, it says, when I heard Jill was starring tonight, I had to attend. What a good one. So it was just a comment, not a question. But we're glad that Jill has her, she's got her own followers.
She's got a following.
This is great. This is great. She's,
That's
she's
great.
picking up on the followers. So
That's great.
With that, we'll go ahead and throw up our first question. And that is, reviving civics education for all Americans, especially young people, is vital to preserving liberty. Do you agree, disagree, or are you not sure about that?
Whoa.
Looks like so far we have 100% reviving civics education. It was taught when I went to school.
Yeah, it was. We had a separate class, a separate course.
Yep. You had a separate teacher for that civics education.
And
bring it back, folks. We need to get.
Well.
We need to be educating our people in the things that are important. So it looks like we have 100% agreement on that one, Dale. So I'll go ahead and move on to our second one.
Okay.
And that is, too many Americans take freedom for granted. They do not understand that our rights are threatened and need defending. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? Or are you not sure? I think we're going to have just total agreement on these two tonight, Dale. I don't know why. Yeah. It's just...
These are easy questions, Ken.
They are easy, but I have to ask some of the easy ones before we get into the real tough ones.
Yeah.
And it just gives the mindset of I think most people at this point are realizing we have some of those things that a lot more people agree on than disagree. So with that, this question kind of leads into what we just talked about, and that is, would you participate in our COS Roundtable show if we offered a call-in option? I was going to do this maybe a week or so ago, but we were still just talking about this. So, would you call in? We know that a lot of our faithful people in leadership are out there. They probably would certainly call in. We have other people that maybe feel more comfortable putting in a chat or sending us an email at raiseyourvoicecos at gmail.com. Yeah. But looks like we got some people that said maybe, and 50% said yes. So that's a good start, I think, Dale.
Yep.
Nobody said no. Nobody said no at this
That's
point.
good.
So
That's good.
I think that's a good point. So that really would conclude our polling for tonight. I think we've got everybody. And again, this will stay open for 2 days. So if you feel like you still want to chime in, you can certainly go ahead and do that.
And just once again, if you have any afterthoughts on this or any thing that you after the broadcast is over that you want to comment on, feel free to email us, raise your voice, COS@gmail.com. All right.
Yep.
I mention that one more time to everybody. Well, let's wrap it up tonight, Ken. We have gone a little bit longer than normal, but that's
the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. And just to mention, we'll round it up here, or we'll wrap it up here. Our national website, conventionofstates.com. Now that's where you go to join Convention of States and become a supporter. And that's the first step that you want to take. We'll talk about that more on the roundtable, which is once again coming up next Monday, the 28th at 7 p.m. It's always the fourth Monday of every month, and that's the roundtable discussion. So we'll be talking about in even greater depth a lot of what you've heard tonight. And I think, Ken, another topic that we're looking at for the roundtable's election integrity, right? And that
was a very strong response last time around. So election integrity will be something I think we'll also have a segment on. And the way these are going, you never know how long we might be on.
Yeah. Once again, to just be clear, the polling that we do, the Slido polling that we do here on our Monday night broadcast, it is the responses on that polling is what drives the content of the roundtable meeting. So what you're expressing here tonight in the polling and other nights in the polling questions, that's what determines the content that we will address on the roundtable meeting. So,
and if you'd like to get in on that discussion, next week's roundtable, you can actually write your interest or your comments down and get them ready and call in next week.
Yeah, call in and tell us what's on your mind. So,
yep,
that's gonna be exciting, Ken. This will be the first time we've tried this. So
interesting segment. Yeah, looking forward to it.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for tonight. So I want to thank you very much for tuning in this evening, and hope to see you all back here next Monday evening for the roundtable meeting. So, Ken, you have a good night, and
you too. Thanks, Dale.
I see Jill is still in the waiting room there, and we'll say good night to you, Jill. Thanks for coming tonight.
Yes, all right. Thank you for having me, guys. Take care.
Great segment. Thanks,
Good night,
Jill.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye.